Hey guys, it's Vornskyr here, and today we're back in Elite Dangerous because the update 1.3 beta has finally arrived, or the Powerplay beta, depending on what you want to call it. As you can see in the bottom left of the screen, we've got that nice beta watermark. But yeah, so Powerplay, there's a lot that's been introduced in this update, and it's probably too much to go through all in one video, so what I'll probably do is do it like an overview in this video, just kind of explain a number of the changes and, you know, the big stuff, some of the little stuff as well. And then over the next couple of days there'll be a bunch more videos with things like the new ships and looking at how the drones work and all that sort of thing. But so let's just get stuck straight into it. So if we go over here, go over through navigation, you can see we've got this, yeah, there it is. You can see we've got this, this new Galactic Powers button. So if we click on that, we can actually get to see this new power screen, and this is, I guess, this is going to be the way that you'll see the Galnet from wherever you are in the galaxy. Obviously, it's coming soon, not quite here at the moment. But yeah, so, and I guess if I had pledged allegiance to a power, I could see things here. But let's click on this one in the middle, and we get to see all the number of different powers and everything. So there's 10 of them at the moment. Obviously, their pictures are all grayed out. But let's click on, say, Petraeus, and what we get to see is all this confusing stuff. I'm still not completely clued in on all of this yet, but basically the first page is we've got a bit of a bio and everything, showing, you know, what the belief is of Petraeus and how he does things, and also what his standings are. So he's got 113 exploited systems apparently, and 11 controlled systems, and he's ranking 6. So yeah, he offers an extensive line of credit to all parties interested in ordering bulk shipments of Imperial armaments. So there you go. But what you can get as well is, if you go down here, you can see these different ratings. And what the ratings are basically, I guess it's like your rank with the power, and it's also the rewards you get for being at that rank. So, say after spending a month aligned with this guy, you can see here 4 weeks aligned with this power, you get the access to this advanced accelerator, which is some fancy sort of plasma weapon. And each of the powers has something like this, that after 4 weeks you unlock something. So I'm not really sure if I like that, to be honest. And I'm getting a phone call. Okay, sorry about that. But as I was saying, I'm not quite sure if I like having this tied just to, you know, just to being aligned with the power for 4 weeks. I think there's probably maybe a better way of doing it. I mean, this just seems to be a massive time sink more than anything else. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how it actually, if I can speak, we'll have to wait and see how it all actually plays out. But yeah, and so you get up to rating 5, and there's just 90% reduction in munitions costs in controlled and exploited systems. So these are some of the benefits you get basically. So we can go out and we have a look at somebody else. Let's go with, I don't know, let's go with Torval, another Empire one. So we go over to Pledge. So she's got the Mining Lance, which is a mining laser capable of inflicting combat damage. So you get that as well after 4 weeks. And with this one, in this final rating 5, you get a 50% increase on the profits from rare goods, from selling rares. So that's, you know, that's probably a fair bit of profit realistically. Imagine, especially if you take a massive load all the way over there. Say you fill up like a Type 9 with rares or something like that. That would be a lot of profit. But I mean, who knows how long it's going to take to actually get up to rating 5, rank 5, whatever's the easiest way of saying it. So yeah, so that's basically that. You can see some of the other things here. You got these preparations, which I guess is getting ready to take over the system or something like that. It says here, prepare Amphisatsu. This used to be my home system. I used to work out here all the time. But prepare here to allow it to move into expansion in the next turn. Increase the level of preparation by nominating it through this screen or completing preparation actions. Right. What does help do? What is preparation? So there you go. I'm not going to read all this, but I guess you can actually click on that and find out a bit more. That's really useful. So I guess we can do that for all of this, yeah, for expansion as well. So if I pledge to her, I would actually be able to participate in some of these tasks, whatever they are. According to this, it's just collecting deeds from certain systems and delivering them to other places. Hopefully it's a bit more than just picking up and dropping off. Not quite sure. And so these are some of the different systems. These ones are fortifying apparently. These are control systems. So yeah, it's obviously going to take a bit of time to understand how all this works properly, because it is fairly complex. So, and this is the first time I'm seeing it basically, but it's definitely pretty interesting. So hopefully it will be what we hope it will be in terms of adding new content and all that sort of thing. But yeah, so let's pledge to somebody. Why not? It's just the beta, so who cares really? Just pledge allegiance, sure. Let's see what happens after doing this. Things may take a while as well on the beta server. I've noticed it's fairly laggy at the moment. I guess there's a large number of people all trying to do the same things. So there we go. So we're pledged now. What's that done? I'm rating 1, so I need to earn enough merits to unlock it. Okay. Oh, righto. So you get the you get these ratings depending on how many merits you earn throughout the week. That's interesting. So has any of this changed? Doesn't look like it. Okay, let's if we go back, so we can now click over here and view details. So waiting. Still waiting. There we go. And this seems to be all of the same stuff, I guess. Okay. So I guess once you've pledged, this is just so that you don't have to click and go to here or something like that. Unless you can pledge to multiple ones, like a defect, I suppose. Alright, well that's a little bit confusing, but anyway, that's a very, very brief overview of the powers system. Why am I hostile? What have I done? Why am I hostile here? You can see in the bottom right it says I'm hostile. Is that just because of the pledging allegiance? That may not be a good thing. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if they're going to start shooting at me once I undock. Anyway, let's hope not. So, other new things. We've got the Diamondback and the Imperial Courier. And, oh, what's this? Contact. Power contact. Sorry, this is the first time I'm seeing all of this. Okay. Maybe they're hostile because this is controlled by a different power. That must be it. Okay, anyway. As I was saying. Courier and Diamondback. So let's just scroll through these. We're just going to have a really quick look at these, and I'll go through them in more detail in a future video. But basically, the description of this is that it's a combat/exploration ship, but it's smaller than the ASP, I guess, given that the description says that the ASP is this ship's big brother. So we can see, one thing I really like is that you can see the frameshift range, or frameshift drive range on this screen. I don't know if they used to have that before, it seems new to me, but at the same time it's been a while since I've bought a new ship. But anyway, so we can see all the stats here obviously. 4 utility mounts, 2 small hardpoints and 2 medium hardpoints. That, from memory, that's the same as a Cobra, basically. 1 size 2 internal and 3 size 3s. So yeah, I don't really know how much it's going to cost in the full game, because, or in release, because you can see it's only 5,000 credits here, or 5,500. And all of the modules and components are also at a reduced cost, so you can't really extrapolate from the cost of those what the actual price will be. But anyway, so top speed 283 or 384 when boosting. That's fairly fast. And all I can say is hopefully you'll be able to boost up this frameshift range a fair bit. But yeah, it looks like it could be an interesting sort of ship. Probably another, not quite a starting ship, but definitely earlier than the ASP or whatever. So it's a good option for explorers and that sort of thing, I suppose. You know, because the ASP costs a little bit. So, yeah, so this is the next ship, the Courier. You can see very, very short frameshift drive range. Hopefully that will be able to be improved a bit. It's reasonable speed, but it's not crazy fast. Still, 380 meters per second boosting, or 280 at top speed. That's not too bad. And of course, it's one of those Imperial ships, so it does look good. But yeah, I'm not quite sure about this. You can see we've got 3 medium hardpoints, so that's pretty decent for a fighter, 4 utility mounts. 1 size 1, 3 size 2s, and 2 size 3s. I don't know, I haven't flown this yet, so I'm going to reserve any judgments until I do fly it, but I'm just not quite sure. It doesn't, on paper, it doesn't read that well, just the stats and everything, but you never know until you actually get out there and try it. So stay tuned to the channel if you're interested in seeing those over the next day or two, because I will be flying those out as well. But okay, so those are the two new ships. Let's look at some of the other stuff. So we got these new drones. So we can actually go down to the outfitting and we can have a look at the drone controllers. But there's three types of drones. There's prospecting drones, there's collection drones, and there's fuel transfer drones. So the prospecting ones basically analyze the contents of an asteroid and tell you what the chunks are going to contain. So what minerals and that sort of thing you'll get out of them. So that's pretty interesting. It means you don't have to waste time shooting at an asteroid just to see what its contents are. So let's see if I can find one in here. Let's just sort by, let's go class descending. There we go. And we'll scroll down, keep scrolling down. Collector limpet controllers, there we go. So this is an A5, you can see it controls 3 limpets at a time. Maximum range of 1.5 kilometers, and they last for 720 seconds. And so these are the collected drones. So these drones will either collect asteroid chunks or canisters, so like that's basically cargo dropped from a ship. So that's the second type. And we've also got fuel transferer. So these ones, you can have 4 active at a time. Obviously, the number you can have active at a time, and I think the amount of time that they last for is dependent on the class that you get, the rating of the class. So these fuel ones, you can have 4 at a time, and they're active in 1.8 kilometers. And I think the way this works is each drone transfers 1 ton of fuel. So I guess, 4 active ones at a time would transfer 4 tons of fuel at a time. So yeah, they do take a bit of power. That's 0.6. These ones are 0.7. So, you'll have to be careful, but then it's not a crazy amount of power. And so, yeah, it's really interesting. So I'm definitely interested in playing around with those and seeing how they go. From what I've been reading, they do seem to work pretty well. There may be some bugs with them and everything, but then this is a beta, so you have to expect that. But I like this idea of the fuel transfer drones, especially combined with, I don't know if there's any here, there should be some here, but especially designed with the fuel tanks, because there are fuel tanks here somewhere, if I can find them. I know they were added. There's so much stuff here. Still looking. I may have scrolled right past it, but I didn't think so. Maybe? I'm not seeing it. Well, anyway. So, but the idea of being able to transfer fuel to like a friend who's managed to go and get themselves stranded or something like that is really cool. I don't know if it's one of these things that will actually be used very often or not. I can't imagine it would be used that often. It's kind of difficult to run out of fuel in this game, if I'm honest, unless you're out exploring, in the middle of nowhere and you screw up pretty badly. But well, anyway. I might have scrolled right past it, but I can't see these extra fuel tanks or anything like that. So whatever, I'm not going to spend too much time searching for it. But yeah, so those are our new different types of drones. They all seem pretty cool, and I'm definitely interested in seeing how they play out. So another thing that's changed is missions. So missions will now scale to the player's rank, and that's the elite rank. So you can see like my combat rank of expert, or the trade rank of merchant, or something like that. The missions should scale based off of those values. One of the interesting things, you can also see they've now given you a percentage until how long it is until you hit the next rank. That's just something really nice. That's just an ease of use sort of thing, basically. So you don't have to, because what you used to have to do before was go into your statistics and just kind of guess, basically. Like say I wanted to upgrade my combat rank, I would just have to guess based on how many bounties I'd claimed and combat bonds and that sort of thing, how many I needed for the next rank. So having just a flat out percentage is such a good idea, and it should have been like that all along if I'm completely honest. But yeah, so we can see these different missions. These are mining missions, so that's pretty cool. You can see we got some more stats on what you need to actually do these. So the minimum relationship to accept this specific mission is unfriendly and up. Required trade rank is penniless and up, and it has a low effect on reputation, medium effect on influence. But what's really cool, and I need to press my joystick button to decline that, is that some of these missions it's just crazy amounts of money. And you can see there's not really any here at the moment, but say this one, 280,000 credits for 3 units of pay night. But you need to be a broker trade rank. So that's how these missions are scaling. I mean, I haven't seen any myself, but I've seen some screenshots already of people getting, you know, 500,000 credits for one of these missions or something like that, destroying a few authority ships, because they're obviously elite rank and that sort of thing. So that's a really good way of doing it. It's, oh, there we go, 341,000 credits. Have to be friendly with whatever this faction is. But yeah, that's how that's working. So that's mission scaling. Pretty cool. One other thing is that, you know, some of the branching missions that, like say you've got an assassination mission, and as you get to the point, there'll be an NPC who pops up and says, well, you could kill him, or you could do what I want you to do. So those branches will now apparently go up into the inbox, which is up there in the top left corner, where these people are having a chat. I guess, I'm not really sure how that works, because I haven't seen it yet, but I guess you just have the options up in there, instead of it just being, you know, some sort of chat log that disappears after a while. One other thing as well is, according to this, the mission targets can now be found in supercruise rather than just in USSs. Now that is such a nice change. Hopefully that will avoid the, you know, jumping into different USSs for half an hour, waiting for the RNG to spawn the right ships. So being able to find them just in supercruise, I think that should be a really good thing, as long as it works properly. But yes, that's all the missions and that sort of thing. One other thing is that bounties have changed, and so if you actually see, if I go up here in my transactions, you can see I've got a 360 credit bounty in this system, Mibutsi, or however you say that. Now the problem is, I can't pay this off anymore, because the way this has been done has changed. And if I actually go to Starport Services and into the contacts, there is no way of paying off a bounty anymore. Like, you just can't do it. It's simply not possible. So the way you get rid of bounties is basically by waiting for 7 days, 1 full week, and you can see in the up there it says 6 days, 22 hours, and 0 minutes until this wears off. So I'm not really sure how I feel about this. I mean, in some ways it's good because it means that people can no longer get a, you know, they can't just attack players and then go and clear their bounty straight away. And that's what a lot of people are doing. So if you attack somebody and you get a large bounty, you have to live with the consequences of that. You can't just go and pay the bounty off straight away. The problem is that, say you got a situation like this, a 360 credit bounty, which is just a minor, absolutely trivial sort of thing. You still have to wait for that full week. I think what would make a lot more sense is for small bounties like this 360 credit one, which was, I got this bounty because I attacked a wanted ship before I'd completed scanning him. Anybody who's done a lot of bounty hunting combat in resource extraction sites or whatever knows this one, I think, because it does happen a fair bit. If you're a bit too quick on the trigger, basically. You know that the target is wanted, you know he's going to have a bounty because he's attacking system authority apart from anything else, and so you shoot him. But you haven't actually finished scanning him, so your ship doesn't know 100% for sure that he's wanted, basically. And so you get a bounty for attacking him, even though it was a legitimate target. So that's kind of how that works. That's how you get these bounties. And so it is a very minor mistake, but the problem is you still get stuck with that 7-day waiting period. So that's a bit of a shame, I think. I don't really like how that's done. But that's how it is at the moment. Hopefully it will change at some point. So let me have a look at my notebook. What else have I got? We've got new resource extraction sites. So high intensity and I believe low intensity, and perhaps, or maybe the normal ones are just low intensity now. And I went into a high intensity one earlier, and what it looked like was just an absolute ton of wanted ships. They weren't all anacondas or anything like that, but the vast majority of NPCs in the system, or in the resource extraction site, were all wanted. And that's basically how I got this 800,000 credits. I think that took about 20 minutes for 800,000 credits. And that's just because pretty much every NPC that I saw, apart from the occasional ship that was actually mining, and the occasional system security ship, but apart from those, basically every enemy that I saw was wanted. And, you know, a lot of them were just in adders or vultures, or not vultures, vipers or whatever. There were a bunch of Imperial Clippers and Federal dropships and the occasional Python. I don't think I even saw an Anaconda. But there was just a lot of them, and they all had bounties. So I guess that's going to be a really good way of making a bit of money. in the future. And of course, in terms of actually mining in those resource extraction sites, I think if you go mining in a high intensity one, you'll actually earn more money, basically. Or not money, but you'll get a bonus to how much you mine. I think that's how it works. So that's pretty cool, and that's definitely something I'll have to try out when I take a look at the mining collection drones. So, what else? What else? Let's launch out here, and we can see one of the other new things. And so what this is that you can now basically be fined for speeding. It's only if you collide with something, but if I launch out of here and I hit the boost while I'm still in the no fire zone, you'll see that where it says hostile, I'll actually get a warning for speeding. And so this is basically designed to deter people from... God, look at all the players around here. But this is basically designed to stop people from just ramming through the starport exit and that sort of thing. So let's full speed ahead out of here. I'm stuck! I'm stuck! Oh god. Anaconda, so big. Alright, so let's hit the boost. So it hasn't actually warned me, I guess because that hostile tag is taking the place of where the speeding tag would go. But just imagine a little yellow indicator that says speeding, and that's it. But basically, if I was speeding and I collided with a ship, I would get a bounty on me. So that's how that works, and that's just, as I was saying, it's designed to stop you from sitting outside the docking port and just ramming into people. I think I just took some hits on my shields then as well, probably from these guys pew-pewing each other. But yes, let's go into Super Cruise. So what else? What else? I think that's all of it. Holy shit, that took a long time. I think that's all of the new features. There are also a few smaller changes, like there's some lighting changes. There's a whole ton, as there always is. There's just a massive amount of different features and fixes and all that sort of thing, little minor changes in the patch notes, which would take forever and a day to go through. So, as always, the patch notes will be linked in the video description, so check those out if you're interested. But some of these things, we got new lighting for some of the ships and some of the stations as well. I think it's just some changes with shadows and all that sort of thing. Not really sure if I've even noticed some of the changes, obviously because I'm not flying the same ship that I'm used to. I'm in this Anaconda. It does look very nice in here, but yeah. So the turrets have changed a little bit as well. Basically how it works is that on fire at will mode, and I don't have any turrets on this ship at the moment, so I can't really show you this, but when they're in fire at will mode, they no longer should attack things that they shouldn't attack, which is always good, and they also shouldn't get assault, basically. Like, they shouldn't friendly fire on anything, and you shouldn't get bounties if your turrets do friendly fire something. I believe that's how it works. That's at fire at will mode. And when they're on target only mode, you can actually control when they fire yourself with the trigger, rather than them just firing automatically at a hostile target. So that is really good. And one other thing that's already causing a lot of controversy is that there is now a 10% penalty for selling modules or whatever. So you know how when you're at the outfitting screen and you trade in a module for something better, you would get the entire, you'd get all your money back, basically. Whatever the cost of the module that you were trading in was, you would get that back. So, and that was really good. I really enjoyed that because it meant that it was so easy to keep changing up your loadout and, trying out different things and everything. But now we've got a 10% penalty for doing that. So, say I traded in a 500,000 credit shield, 50%, or sorry, 50,000 credits would be just deducted from that basically, and you wouldn't get that back. So, I don't know. This is definitely causing a lot of controversy. It wouldn't surprise me if this was actually removed, given how many people are against the change. I know some people think it's a good change. Personally, I don't like it. I think one of the really interesting things, and one of the really things that I really liked about this, was being able to change up your loadout whenever you wanted without losing any money, and without having to spend extra time, grinding away at earning more credits and all that sort of thing. Because, being able to try all the different weapons and see what worked and what didn't is probably part of the reason that I'm still playing this game, if I'm completely honest. It was just an extra thing to do, and so making it a bit more of a money sink, and making people have to, get that extra 10% credits back through more combat or whatever. I'm not explaining this very well at all. But I don't know. Personally, I would prefer it if it just stayed the way that it was, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I know that some people disagree completely, and that's perfectly fine. It's obviously, you can disagree or agree with whoever you want. But yeah, my opinion is, I don't really like this 10% surcharge sort of thing. But yeah, that's I think that's all of it though, really. So it's a lot of changes, a lot of rambling on. As I've said, we will see the Diamondback and the Courier in a video yet to come. We'll also be checking out the mining drones and that sort of thing. And I guess as the update, or as this beta kind of matures a little, we'll also figure out how Powerplay works. Although I don't think the beta is going to be around long enough to actually, you know, get stuck into a week or two and see what the rewards for it are like, you know, after 1 or 2 weeks. But yeah, so I think I'll end this one here. So as I said, the patch notes will be in the video description. I would recommend checking them out because there is a lot of stuff that's changed. A lot of it's not particularly massive stuff, but as always with these patches from Frontier, there is just a ton of stuff that's all listed just in bullet points, and it's very hard to read. But yeah, so I think I'll end this one here. So until next time, I've been Vornskyr. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.